By-elections taking place today, filling seats vacated by two of Doug Ford's cabinet ministers. That's including a swing riding in Milton. Senior reporter at Queen's Park, Mike Crawley, joins us from the legislature now. So, Mike, what's at stake with the race in Milton?
Well, Dwight, what's key here is that this is the first time for any Ontario voters to go to the polls since Bonnie Crombie won the Liberal leadership in December. So, and also, too, what's important to remember is that since Doug Ford won that big second majority a couple of years ago in 2022, there have been 4 Ontario by-elections, and the PCs haven't won any of them. So today's by-elections are going to give you a kind of a sense of how voters are feeling about the Doug Ford government right now. And it's probably going to send a bit of information to all of the parties about what they need to do to prepare for the next campaign, which begins exactly 2 years from now.
So, Mike, what are the 2 seats up for grab today?
All right, so these 2 by-elections, one is in southwestern Ontario, Lambton, Kent, Middlesex. This is the seat that was held by the former Labour Minister, Monty McNaughton, for 4 straight elections. So the Tories consider this a pretty safe seat for them because, you know, they held it even when the Liberals won the elections in 2011 and in 2014. No, completely different situation in Milton. This is a riding that used to be held by the Liberals when they won. Then it went back to the Tories, and so it's considered to be a pretty close race.
Let's dig into that a little more. Why do you say the by-election in Milton is particularly important, Mike?
Yeah, well, people are paying close attention to this because it's the 905. And, you know, to win power in Ontario, you've got to win seats in the 905. And in fact, for the last 8 straight provincial elections, Dwight, the party that won the most seats in the 905 is the party that formed government. So today's race in Milton is really, you know, a sample of what 905 voters are feeling. And political insiders are saying that means it is a key test for all the parties. Take a listen.
It's a critical swing riding. These are ridings that the next premier must win, whether it's in that region or York region or Peel. Clearly, the next government will be formed with seats like Milton.
And you got to remember, in the last election, Doug Ford's party nearly swept the 905. 28 of the 29 seats went Tory blue. So it's going to be basically impossible for any other party to win the next election without taking away a bunch of seats like Milton from the PCs.
So, Mike, what does it mean then for the leaders of the parties with Milton? And let's start with Doug.
Yeah, well, with Doug Ford, you know, this by-election was triggered when one of his cabinet members resigned to run for the federal Conservatives. And so if the PCs lose in Milton today, you know, it could send a message to other PC members around the 905 that they might be vulnerable. And Doug Ford doesn't want to see a bunch of his MPPs, you know, making a stampede for the exits.
Thank you, Mike.